My name is Don Mears. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I'm on my way to interview UFO contactee Liam Freeney. Now, Liam appeared in the first Australian Skies film with claims of UFO sightings, black helicopters and government cover-ups. However, according to Liam, this is only the tip of the iceberg. As Liam reaches a crossroad with this phenomenon, we will ask the question, is it extraterrestrial contact or government conspiracy? Or is it something far more stranger? This is what we are chasing. This is Australian Skies 2, Contact of Interest. Hey guys, how you going? My name's Don Mears, I'm the director of Dojo Media, and welcome to Australian Skies 2 Contact of Interest. I'm here in Kiama, which is a lovely coastal town about 2 hours south of Sydney in New South Wales, and I'm here to meet a UFO contactee by the name of Liam Freeney. Now, in the first film, there was always a reluctance to attribute what these objects were in the sky that people were filming, and rightly so. However, with Liam, he was always adamant that what was happening to him was otherworldly. And when I asked him why he was so certain of this, his response was, look, these objects in the sky are just the tip of the iceberg. It's what starts to happen to you after you film these things, that's what will convince you. So as a result, he's invited us to Kiama to have a bit of a chat about some of these strange things. Now, to make the film, I've got the crew here. I've also got a good friend of mine and fellow filmmaker, Attila Cowdy. Attila's here not just because of his technical ability, but because he himself has also experienced some of these strange things that Liam's perhaps experienced. And I thought it might be interesting to get the two of them together to meet. So there you have it. What's the next step past these objects in the sky? What's the next thing? What's the next level with them? I suppose to find out those answers, we're going to have to find Liam, who apparently is down on the jetty somewhere. You catch anything?
Only with the camera, mate.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Fantastic. My name's Liam Freeney. I'm 42 years old, married, 2 children, and I live in Kiama in New South Wales, Australia. I have a job, I work hard full-time. I'm from New Zealand. We moved to Australia in 2008, and we've been here ever since. So yeah, it's a lovely spot we have moved to. Obviously the reason why I'm sitting in this chair, something dramatic changed for me in 2013. I basically saw a UFO, and it sort of dramatically changed the way I look at life. Before that time, I never gave this subject or these UFOs or anything like this any thought. It wasn't part of my life, but since 2013 it's had quite a big impact on my life. The whole thing started March the 18th, 2013. But things started to change 3 months beforehand. I started getting a sort of a funny feeling that I should be looking at the sky. So I bought some binoculars, but they weren't just your normal binoculars. They were astronomy binoculars, of course, and you almost needed someone else to sort of help you carry them. They were pretty big. And I started looking at the sky during the day through them and was looking, on the edges of clouds, and I guess by that stage I knew I was looking for something, and I think it was a UFO. I just was convinced I was going to see one. My wife thought it was pretty cool that I had another interest in life. She's like, "Oh, good on you." And when she asked me what I was looking for, I was like, "UFO." She goes, "Oh, that's great, dear. No problem." Just a bit of a laugh. But yeah, little did she know, and what was she going to find out shortly.
What was she doing, Mum? What was she trying to do?
Oh, she's trying to pop it. Like that.
I can do it.
Can you? I don't think that chicken's going to cook in time, babe.
That's all right.
So you might have to have one piece of fish.
Yep.
And then you might have to pick up something on the way home.
Yeah, yep.
What are you doing?
Just having a look at something. Hang on. The day happened, and it was March the 18th. So I found myself at about 1:30, sitting outside the office, having a coffee, just sitting in a chair, just looking out at the sky, sort of southwest, and I spotted this sort of white, what I thought at first was a parachute, just sitting in the sky, and I was looking at it for a while, and then a plane flew in front of it, like a big commercial plane. And I realised that it wasn't a parachute, because this thing was a long way behind the plane, but yet it was probably twice as big as the plane. So I was like, "Whoa, this is what I've been waiting for. This is it." And it was, all I can describe it as, it was spitting out these bright lights, and they were sort of all floating around this big object, and then they came together in a diamond shape. But the moment they came together, they lit up. It was like whoosh, and lit up, and then they all dissipated away and drifted around this big object. And then something strange happened. A fighter jet went and intercepted this object, and that was the last I saw of it, and the plane that went to intercept it.
There's three.
Yeah.
What the hell are they?
Exactly, what the hell are they? Son of a gun, this is absolute gold.
Actually, there's more. There's more.
Oh my God, we've got it.
Well, then there's the curiosity part. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was convinced, and then it happened. So now you want to know what it is. And that was it. That was it for me. I was like, right, I need to find out what I've just seen.
There. Two of them. Okay. Infrared on. Two objects. Occasionally lighting up.
So I was ready for the next one, because I was like, now I've seen it, I need more. I needed to see more. I needed to figure out what it was. So I'd go to work every day and I'd set it up just in the office, so it was ready to go. And it took 5 or 6 weeks. So I was at home by myself. I think it was a Saturday, and I was just pottering around home when I had this sort of overwhelming urge to get in the car and drive up. It's only 5 minutes from home, but up on top of this hill and have a look. And within minutes of me getting up there, this huge craft appeared.
Here we go. What have we got here? What have we got here? is pretty crazy. Might Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. Focus. I might take the immediate infrared lens off. Being fire. Where's it gone? Can't see it. There it is. Above that pole. There. Look at this. It's just sitting over Kiama. That's full zoom, unfortunately. I can't get any closer to it. Sheepers. Look at that. Come on, where are you? Where is it gone? Friggin' lost it. Come on, camera. Ah, it's gone. It's gone.
As for Liam, he was introduced to me through a mutual investigator who invited me to come along and investigate further exactly what it was that Liam was seeing in the sky. As for Liam's technical ability within modern day electronics, doesn't know anything about cameras. He's got absolutely no clue about computers. He's not up to date with software, editing software or anything like that. He's in the building industry. He's nuts and bolts. He gets dirty, he gets dusty. That's what he likes to do, and that's all he's ever done. He's a family man. You know, he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a job, he's got responsibilities. He really does. So here's a guy that doesn't need the attention. You know, it's not like he's unemployed and he's got nothing better to do. This guy's got bills to pay. Having seen all this footage, it was extremely intriguing, and that led us on the path of wanting to know what Liam was about.
My mum lives in New Zealand, so I rang my mum to tell her. So I'm very close with my mum, and I went, "Mum, you're not going to believe this. I saw this, and it's just incredible, you know, and I'm going to go out and look for them." And she said, "Can you do something for me?" She goes, "Don't go out at night by yourself." And I went, "Well, that's a bit strange. Shouldn't you say, well, that's a weird thing to see?" But she said, "Don't go out at night by yourself looking for them." So I always thought that was strange. Yeah. And since then, my mum and I have had lots of talks about them, and she's told me a few stories herself from where we grew up in New Zealand, that she said it was a bit of a hot spot, apparently. A lot of people would see strange crafts and lights in the sky. And she's since told me quite a few different stories of sightings that she's had. But each one started with, "I think we saw one once." I often thought about, after that, speaking with Mum, I wonder if my dad had ever seen any, but unfortunately he'd passed away a year before this happened, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him about his maybe involvement, or if he'd ever seen any, so, because he had a military background. He was in the British military, but like I said, I have no idea if he knew anything about it or saw anything. He never talked about it. He didn't talk about anything, to be fair, about what he did in the military at all. Pretty much not once. So That's as far as I know. I don't have anything. But jeepers, I'd love to ask him. I would love to ask him. I'd say 90% of the things I see are during the day. I very rarely go out at night. I was at first at night, but things were happening for me during the day in a beautiful blue sky. And so basically it's always been that way.
When you're climbing, always have 3 points of contact on the surface. All right, so just take it easy.
Do your bullets count as 1 point?
If they're hanging low enough. On location with Don Mears. I grew up in a really small town in the middle of the South Island of New Zealand called Arthur's Pass. And yeah, it was mountainous. Basically, obviously, there was a wee school there, but when you weren't at school, you were out on your own exploring, and your parents sort of just left you to it. You'd be at home for dinner, and that was from a very young age. So my dad was a pretty big mountain climber. He had this urge to climb the highest mountains he could find, so he climbed them in New Zealand, and then he discovered the Himalayas. And so yeah, he went climbing in the Himalayas and climbed several mountains over there. Mount Everest, Amateur Blam, just, yeah. And this is back in the 80s. So yeah, he was just a tough mountain man. But obviously a great dad, of course, but he was a hardened mountaineer.
Would you ever want your kids to be contactees?
Oh, look, I guess you don't have any choice if it does happen, but I'd probably prefer it not to happen. Because there's so much more that goes along with it that, yeah. If I am thinking about it and someone, like I said, if someone wants to know about it and they seem really genuinely interested, or I'm talking about it, it does happen.
It's definitely going against the wind, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got it on Zoom right now. I've got the little bugger. I've got it on full zoom in the centre of my camera. It's fantastic.
The feeling is a feeling where you don't have any choice in the matter. You have to get to an area and you don't think why you're going there. You just have to get there. You have to get to this point.
People that I've met over the years, a lot of people that I've met who've actually been or have had interest or still have interest in the UFO phenomena have that draw to the whole subject, and they will go to some pretty extreme limits to try to capture the next close encounter on video.
Wow, I've just got another one flew across it. There's a lot going on up here today, guys. Holy smokes.
That euphoria that people have claimed to have experienced, I think that's what they're searching for, that euphoric moment.
How you feel when you see it, because nothing comes close to it, and nobody will ever understand that unless they're going through it. But you come across, you could be in the middle of nowhere and come across this and see it. The feeling that you get is just like overwhelming, and you're up there for days.
Yeah, easily 20 minutes it just stayed stationary. Oh, I'm getting some awesome footage here. Oh yeah. It's
zoomed right up?
Yep, it's actually on, it's under the cloud. It's on our side of the cloud now. It's getting closer. Because, yeah, I believe it's on our side of the clouds. He's moving left quite quickly though.
I'm going to have to say there is a link between the object and myself, because it's got me to go to a certain point. Like, I'm not just sitting at home, you know, I've left the environment that I was at to go somewhere completely different, and then for this to show up. So clearly there's a link. It's definitely drawing you to a spot, whether it wants you to, or clearly wants you to be there. And I find it strange to even say that, trust me, but it's just reality.
It's quite interesting, because the way an experience like that affects you is quite profound, and you just want to know more, you just want to go after and more. You just want to put everything, your whole life to the side, and just go on this absurd quest to know more about the origins of these UFOs.